Hey folks, this is Josh, Stoney Ridge Farmer. Welcome to the farm vlog today. Today we're going to be working with this machine right here. This is called the Tough Cut. We're going to be cutting a bunch of tough brush. We're kind of paying it forward for a neighbor. So come along today as we do a kind deed for a neighbor and we work on the Tough Cut a little bit before we get back over and start cutting. All right? Stoney Ridge. So what we're in the midst of right here is changing the blades on this Tough Cut. Now we're not really changing the blade, we're flipping the blade. So the blades come with two sharp edges. One blade spins this way and the other two blades spin that way. So we're gonna loosen these blades up and we're gonna flip the blades over and we're gonna head back over and finish cutting. That way, when we take the blades off to sharpen them, we sharpen both sides and we get basically two blades out of one. It's pretty cool. So I'll show you how we take these things off real quick. So here's the blade I'm talking about, and it has a sharp edge right here and a sharp edge over here. And what we're gonna do, simply put, is just loosen, and I already pre-loosened that in case you guys are wondering. We're gonna loosen and we're gonna flip this blade over, and I'll show you where I hit the cinder block. I hit a pile of cinder blocks and underneath the brush pile. That's a pretty common thing to hit something in a brush pile. But you can see it didn't do a whole lot of damage to my blade, but it's not quite as sharp as this other side. So we're just gonna take it, flip it, and reinstall. Just that simple. This is a 3/4 inch thread, fine thread nut right here. Okay. All right, so we're good to go on this one. Now we're gonna move over to this one and this one. Now one of these has reverse threads and two of these have regular threads. Where this blade spins this direction, this one spins the opposite direction. It's pretty cool, good little setup. Very cool. Okay, pop the blade off. This saves a lot of time. You don't have to sharpen your blades every time you use the machine. You can just flip them. Or if you hit cinder blocks in the field, you can just raise this up and flip the blade. Pretty cool. You do see me trying to tighten a reverse threaded nut the wrong way, right? Good stuff. Okay. Good deal. Now that one's good. Last one down here. In case you guys are wondering what tractor we're working on here, this is the Ventrac. That's how tight they should be. All right. Removing that blade, flip it over, and go back to it. Very cool. I had to come home for lunch anyway, a late lunch, so figured I'd flip the blade so we can get to cutting good. We're gonna put the hood down on the machine. I check the oil once in a while. We've only got about 27 hours on this thing, but we've been working the crap out of it. So making sure I keep my fluids all topped off and everything's good to go. This is held in place by a pin right down here. And basically I'll pull back on this. You let the deck down just like so. Oh, there we go. And there's a cover that goes over this belt system. There's a pretty crazy belt system underneath here. Also just doing a little inspection since I've been cutting so much. I want to make sure nothing's hung up on the belt system, and we'll slip the cover back on. All right. Very, very simplistic design. Smartly designed, made in the USA. So awesome stuff. We've already serviced all of our lubrication points right here. And what we've got to do is that pin I just pulled out, we've got to reinstall that pin. And there are three other pins, two on this side and two on that side, that hold this deck in the right position. Pin number 1 is here. Already put it in. Pin number 2 is here. They're both held in with keys. When I popped the hood on this, all the debris that I'd been through, I was very impressed in all the debris I'd been through, and there was no issue whatsoever with debris clogging up all these belts. It's a pretty complex belt system. I'll show you if I can get this pin in place here. It likes to hop back out. There we go. As long as it doesn't hop back out while we're using it, it likes to hop back out because it's tight. Oh, these pins are really small, and I don't have small hands. Let's see here. There we go. So, put her back in our original position. Our pin back. Same thing here. Come on, baby. Man. All right, now this little apparatus right here that's sticking up is a kickstand. So this kickstand, basically, when you set the implement off of the machine, it sets it up straight. We need to kickstand in the full up position here. So always a good idea to check your belt tension too. I think the belt tension's a little bit low. This is a brand new piece of equipment, so I think we have gotten a little bit on the broken in side. In other words, we broke in the belts with about 4 hours of use. So we'll go ahead and snug her down here a little bit tighter. Now we got good belt tension. Snug down our little locking nut here. And she's ready to rock and roll. Put our cover down, reattach, and we're good to go. So a little bit about driving this machine. It's a little different than most machines. So you got a handle right here, and that's your forward. And if you pull back, and that's your reverse. If you move it this way, then that raises your bucket. If you move it all the way that way into a lock position, then that's float. So for transport, we'll keep it up off the ground, but we're gonna cruise on over to the neighbor's house, which is basically, a quarter-mile away, something like that. This thing will run a max speed of 10 miles an hour in high and about 5 miles an hour in low. Pretty cool, fun machine. Had the tree guys out cutting some trees. Are going to be moving the power lines from the top of the hill to the bottom of the hill pretty soon here. Let's talk about your driver position. So when you're riding on this thing, I don't know if you guys have ever rode a motorcycle before, but it's kind of like riding a chopper, I guess. You're kind of raked out. See how my feet are? There are foot platforms right here. So you're kind of raked out on the machine. So it's super duper comfortable. Fun. Like it. Have I said it's fun yet? So we're over here at the neighbor's place. Let's get you an idea of what we're cutting. So this is privet. These are privet bushes, and there's a bunch of greenbrier and all sorts of briars. You can see how big this stuff is. It is big stuff. Now, the Tough Cut is rated for 1-inch material, which is like this big. Well, we've been cutting bigger stuff than that. We've been cutting 3-inch stuff. Per the recommendation of Ventrac, 1-inch stuff is what we need to cut. You can see what we've cut so far. Unbelievable. It's as if a forestry mulcher came through here and cut all this stuff down. We've got a lot more briars and stuff to get into, and the area we're gonna get into right now is gonna be this right here. So I'm gonna get you an idea of the size of this stuff. I'm 6'5". That's how tall these things are. I have an 8-foot reach. Those are 10 and 12 foot tall bushes. Let's get busy, let's have some fun. I know you guys wanna see this thing in action. It's awesome. thing does is basically anything it can push over, it will just mow through it. It'll just chew right through it. So all the stuff that we've done so far, basically I knock it over and then run over it and it just chops it up. Now, these guys that own the property may have to come back and clean up a little brush and logs and stuff like that, but basically it just chews it back up. Super duper cool. We're gonna get busy. That is fun. It's starting to get dark. You really can't tell. The camera kind of makes up for the light, but it's getting a little bit dark. And let me show you what we ran up on over here. Hope you guys enjoy this stuff. This is what's going on. It's a farm vlog, dude. It's what's going on the farm. So we hit this cinder block, and if you can see back in there, there are a bunch of pieces of pipe and all kinds of stuff. This man, I guess, held on to a lot of scrap, like scrap metal, buildings, anything anybody would give him. He put it back here, and now it's all rotten piles. He recently passed away, and he was in his 90s. Nice fella. If you guys Google the Stoneville tornado, it's the guy in that video for the Stoneville, North Carolina tornado. If you check that out, this thing is a beast. I've got more work to do tomorrow. I'm gonna say another 5 or 6 hours. I'll probably wrap this up. Having a good time today, running a cool, fun machine. Thought I'd show you what we're doing. Guys, don't forget to pound that subscribe button, pound that like button, and click that bell icon down there. It'll notify you when I post a new video. We're gonna finish cleaning this all up. All right, woo! What's that about a beer? Oh, say something about a beer? It's cold beer time? I mean, I don't drink beer. Never. Not till I get that home. Maybe we'll leave it here tonight.